Hi there, WAVA Flex families. This is Rosie Bailer. I am the Flex Coordinator coming to you from my home office here in South Snohomish County with the video newsletter for December 2021. So thank you for taking the time to view and listen to this month's news. So we have a small celebration to offer, and that was for our November Flex Spirit session for the Pajama Day session that we actually had last week, just ahead of the Thanksgiving break. And we did a virtual escape room, and it was just really fun. We had students there, I think, from grade 2 all the way up to grade 10. And it was just great. There were some puzzles that were harder to solve, some that were a little bit more accessible for all grades. And we used the Q&A chat so that students who needed a little more time to think about the puzzles had that chance. If you have never done a virtual escape room with your family, you might give that a try. You can just do a simple internet search, virtual escape room. You might put the word library in there. A lot of the public libraries developed some pretty cool ones over the COVID, the stay-home orders at the beginning of COVID. So thank you to those of you that joined, and I look forward to having more of those as we continue with the school year. Moving on to our next topic, a reminder. So this is about the Flex Agreement, the DocuSign document that all families or learning coaches signed prior to entering the Flex option at WAVA. I just want to highlight a couple of things that are just recurring issues, I guess. It's not that there's a lot of them, but just as a reminder for Flex families. Attending homeroom. So you're experienced at WAVA. You know that you need that weekly two-way contact in order to meet the state's expectations for attendance. But we would love it if more of you could meet that by attending the homeroom. Sorry for my stumble there. If you don't attend the homeroom, then the homeroom teacher is spending precious time trying to make that two-way contact with you. So it would be really great if you could take care of that in advance by just attending the homeroom. If you have one of those appointments, right, that just happens to be at that time and you can't get another one, reach out to your teacher in advance, right? Send an email, and then that needs to be the student making contact, two-way contact with the teacher. So please, just a little reminder on that. We also want to give learning coaches a bit of a reminder about participating in the student-led conferences. Keywords, student-led, right? We want to hear from the students during these conferences. And now that we're into December, you know, students have had a few of these already. We're hopeful that those of you that are sort of maybe sitting in the driver's seat a little bit during those might start to back up a little bit, maybe move to the passenger seat, move to the back seat, move to the driveway, whatever it is that seems to be the next step for your student. We know that students are in lots of different places when it comes to comfort with those student-led conferences. But now that it's December, we really want to start hearing more from the students, okay? And similarly to homeroom, if you get an email about scheduling that, schedule it at a time that really works for you, because any of this time that our teachers spend trying to reschedule, track you down if somebody didn't show up, and all of that is time that takes away from their ability to make those individual contacts about the curriculum. So we would really appreciate that as we head forward. I'm trying to get my controls to come back up here. Apologies. A reminder for learning coaches also that you are responsible for setting the structure and the schedule for learning. If you are finding that your student is struggling a little bit with Flex, please ask yourself, is that because we don't have a regular routine? We don't have a schedule or some structure. The beauty of Flex is that you can break that structure and schedule when something arises, whether that's a medical need, an opportunity, you know, an adventure day, a sunny day that brings you an adventure, whatever that may be. But you should have a structure and a schedule to then deviate from, okay? So we would appreciate it if you could reflect a little bit on that and see how that's working for your student, and if your student could be more successful if you had a bit more structure. If you don't know how to begin with that, reach out to me. I've been helping some families, mostly teens, with getting onto some routines and schedules, but I'm happy to do that for any students to work together with you, grades K through 12, to kind of get a little bit of a schedule going for you if you struggle with that. Okay, and then finally, just a reminder, it's December. The semester one ends at the end of January, so we do have quite a bit of time left here, but we want to remind you that one of the requirements and expectations for participating in Flex is that students are maintaining that progress and passing their courses, okay? A reminder, high school students that don't pass their classes have to somehow make up those credits or they're no longer on track to graduate on time, right, in the 4 years. So that's a hassle. I will be very frank with you. It is hard to get credits made up as if a student finds themselves down in credits. So we really want to give a big, strong push to make sure that all of those courses are passed. We, we're monitoring progress pretty closely, and we need to know if Flex is the best fit for a student. And one of the ways that we measure that is whether or not the student is able to be academically successful inside of Flex. So we never look at just one single thing, but part of the bigger picture. We're also operating with a wait list still. We have quite a few dozen students that are eager to get into the Flex option. So if you are considering that maybe this isn't the best fit, let's have a conversation. Just reach out to me and let's talk about what your concerns are and how we can best meet the learning needs of your students as we go along. All right, there goes that naggy stuff. Let's move on to the next piece. Some suggestions for you. So with winter break coming up, right, the last half of the month, basically, I guess we've got kind of 5 weeks in this month. National, right? K-12 Stride National will be offering some different clubs, activities, things like challenges where students can take on that challenge and then post what they've come up with. And we just want to invite you to look at that. It should be through your online school as we get closer to break. But if you're not traveling anywhere, still maybe because of COVID or just because of your work schedules, be aware that that's there, right? That you could check that out. Or if you will be traveling to a family member's house and there's just not a lot of other young people around, then you certainly could check these out too. So we invite you to keep your eyes open for these winter break activities. They're just short duration, right? You're not having to join part of a larger club as we go. And then the second one, Learning Coaches, is for you, and that there is a Learning Coach community on the K-12 app. And so it's somewhere where you can connect with other learning coaches as you go along about questions and answers and sort of some big picture. So if that's your thing, please go ahead and check out that app and the Learning Coach community within the app. Oh, my dog is going to bark a little bit. Sorry about that. I'm going to keep on going right through here. Oh, I'm going to pause for just a moment. Sorry about that. This is my second take as the first one decided it didn't want to download entirely. So I'm just going to pause on that rather than starting all the way over. But that's what happens when you work from home sometimes, right? All right, on to a request. WAVA is hosting a food drive from December 1st through the 10th. As the last slide that I'll have up here for you, I'll put those details out there, but we're just inviting families, if you're able to make a donation to your local food drive, you can then take a picture and post it onto our WAVA Padlet. You could make a monetary contribution. WAVA is going to do a donation from our staff and families to Northwest Harvest, so that's an option if you don't feel like you can collect up some items and get them dropped off where you need to go. If you live near the Tacoma office, you could bring items, from your pantry or from the store right over to there also. So I'll put up that slide in just a few minutes, but that is going on from December 1st until the 10th. And then finally, a call for ideas. So we have a new thing cooking in Flex for January, and this is going to be some virtual meetups for learning coaches. And there'll be different topics that will come up in all of them. I think the first one, unless I get a lot of word from you all in response to this, will be about those routines, structures, and schedules. I tried to blend those two words together right there. So, and this is really a little bit more informal. It's a chance to come together. I'll help to facilitate, and you could come as an expert and share, like, this really worked for me. Or you could come as a learner and say, I need help with this, or tell me how you solve this. So I'm hopeful that the conversation can go both ways between the participants, where sometimes maybe you've got a challenge and you're just really looking for some resources or some ideas. And then at other times, maybe you are the resource and you have some really great ideas to share with folks. So hoping we can do these about once a month or so, just an informal meetup for learning coaches that are just involved in the Flex option. We could talk about schedules, as I've said, and routines. Maybe motivation might be one of the questions, how you motivate a student that is maybe feeling a little bit of that drag as the school year goes on. Maybe you're looking for enrichment opportunities or how to make things, make the learning go deeper for your students. And so please, you see my email and my phone number down here at the bottom. You can also text me at this number. I know that lots of people like to text, but our Zoom phones are text capable. And so if you have an idea for what to do in that, oh, my stuff went away as I clicked on there, for what we might discuss and brainstorm around for our first set of Learning Coach meetups, please let me know. All right, I'm going to wrap us up with one more slide here that is, let's move my head out of the way. That is all about the virtual food drive. Again, December 1st through the 10th. Donate to your local food bank. You could take a photo and put it onto our Padlet here for WAVA. There'll be shout outs for the top grades. And this is part of our We Are Connected December mindset by giving together. And then once again, if you don't have time to do a physical donation to a food bank, you can donate online through this GoFundMe link that's here at the bottom. And we hope that you will participate and encourage you, if you're a family in need, to seek out your local food bank. So we are connected in all sorts of ways. I appreciate your time this month, and reach out if you have any questions. I'm going to hop backward to that slide, move my head out of the way again, so that you can have my email address, my phone number for calls or texts. And I wish you well. I hope you have a restorative couple of weeks at the end of the month with your family. If you've recently celebrated Diwali, I hope you had a wonderful time. If you're currently celebrating Hanukkah, I hope that that is going well for your family. And if you celebrate Christmas, I hope that that is a nice time for your family to get together, and Happy New Year to all. All right, I will see you next month. Bye-bye.